right, guys, what is up? So I've got both the XL and the 365, the regular 365. I've loved running both of them. I'm really pumped to have the XL now, but I was looking for some lights, and obviously, you have to weigh your pros and cons here. For me, I always want to take up as little space as possible. Always thinking about being minimalistic with anything we do. Carrying a blade, carrying any type of equipment, I want to be minimalistic. My job is always to be reduced signature, low visibility, all those things. That's what I take really seriously. So having said that, I decided to buy the Sig Light, which is only 100 lumens compared to what is out there, 400 lumens plus. There's a couple reasons for that. First of all, not having a laser on here, we can reduce the size a little bit. Not having the lumens on here, we can reduce the size a little bit. So I like that because I'd rather have a little space than having those capabilities. Not to mention, I'm not a big visible laser guy. Really, the only use for visible laser that I've ever had in a threat environment was when I was using it to direct a dog or give somebody some type of direction. I'm not saying that it's not needed, but in an environment where you've got a lot of unknowns, you've got threats, I'm not just going to go waving my laser around to direct people when there's people that don't really need to be swept in that environment. I mean, there's a time and a place for that, but not good enough for me to take it and put it on my laser. So the other thing is this is 100 lumens. I haven't tested it out yet, but I'm pretty sure from what I've seen, it's going to be enough. It's going to be more than enough to give me an illumination capability on my pistols from an everyday carry perspective. When you know what you're doing at night, when you know how to navigate and move at night, when you know that you have the tactical advantage by owning the night and not necessarily using night vision, but moving in the night, moving in the shadows, using ambient light, using dead space, it starts to become really clear that if they can't see me or I can't see them, they can't see me either. It's a good rule of thumb just to keep in mind. Are there going to be situations where I wish I had a floodlight? Of course, but within reasonability and my experience and ambient light and threat environments and small spaces, a small light with a little bit of illumination should be more than enough. So that's my main reasoning behind the purchase of this. So let's get this bad boy opened. I'm not like big into the whole unboxing thing, but I just wanted you guys to kind of be here with me because I know I was pumped to get this out of the box and actually just put it on my gun. And, you guys are making an investment out there. I often, buy stuff because my life depends on it. So I don't even think about the cost. I'm like, is that the best thing? Yes, that's what I want. Okay, I'm going to buy that. And for you guys, as you're weighing your cost, yes, you want to do your research and make the best possible choice that you can. So just checking this out. Obviously, pretty low profile, just looking at it up against these. Obviously, this is a really, really, really flush fit on there, and already I can tell that button is going to be nice, not have to manipulate my trigger finger or anything else, just squeeze down on that finger. I've always loved that release right here. So you guys can see that profile looks pretty cool. And obviously this profile is going to be slick as well. I mean, look at that. I mean, you can't really get much cleaner than that from an everyday carry. Being able to carry 12+1 rounds, have an extended magazine, 15 rounds in this thing. I mean, they just knocked it out of the park. Sig, tritium sights. I love this thing. So hopefully I can share some of my excitement with you guys. And again, I'm going to test this. I'm going to test this in my home. I'm going to test this in a dark environment. I'm going to test this in the shoot house. And we'll see what this 100 lumens does. We'll see if I can get a capability in order to record that. But eventually, I'll be able to do that more and more for you guys. So a couple things in the package. No idea what the Q-tips for. I'm sure they have a purpose. I tend to want to, skip steps and be like, I don't need Q-tips. But I just want to see, make sure I do it right. I got the investment here, so I want to make sure that I get it done. I was tempted to buy a few of these right off the bat, just because, I have one of these. I think I'm going to end up giving this one to my wife to let her carry it. But right now, I want to make sure that I'm at least setting this up properly. Okay, so you guys can pause this video if you want to read any of this stuff. Obviously, you can read it pretty well from right here. Okay, good to go. Parts identification, housing, yes. I like the important stuff. The important stuff is usually pretty good to read. Prior to installation, battery change, cleaning or maintenance, follow the operator's manual to ensure the firearm is unloaded and pointed in a safe direction. Okay, well, complacency kills, right? See how I'm using my hands as I'm talking? Complacency kills. So always, 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 never, ever, ever, ever assume that your firearm is unloaded. No, check, double check. Okay, I checked these before we got on, but I'm just doing it again. You can see that. I'll remove the source so there's no confusion here that these are both clear and safe. All right, I'm just gonna put this blade right here. And continuing on, reading this, uninstall 2 screws, removing the left housing and set aside. Okay, so first and foremost, that's what we have to do. I know some of you guys, you know, running through this video, you're gonna wanna get to the end and be like, okay, what's the finished product look like? And that's fine. And there's gonna be some people out there that go and buy this and hopefully stick with me here throughout the video. Okay, so we've got the screws on this side. It's saying to remove this part of the housing. So I'm gonna remove this, loosen that one up, loosen this one up, and then we're going to take these all the way off. Okay, if you guys are working on anything, you know, gun parts, they have magnetic trays out there, which I really, really like. These screws are tiny, and they do not give you any extras. So, you know, be careful. That one's already loose. Don't lose these because that would be a pain in the butt. Let me see if that was enough right there. And it was. Okay, I'm going to remove that, set it aside. Again, those screws are really, really small. Or you can get yourself a crush everything or honor mat to work off of as well. So here, center rear portion of right housing on pistol trigger guard as shown in figure 2. Okay, so obviously it's going to use that to be able to grab on to the gun. And we want to be able to set this up. So I'm putting this on my XL. All right, now, right about there. Oh, let's see. That is pretty squared away. It's not completely secure there, obviously, because I haven't screwed it down yet. But just to make sure, you know, that's aligning. Everything's aligning, looks flush. That's good. Kind of holding it in place with my, my middle finger right there. Now, going down, it says to, while we're in this position, we're going to insert the batteries into the right housing. Top battery should show positive end facing outwards, while bottom battery shows negative end. Okay, so the top battery is going to show the positive. So I'm going to get these out here. Get that out. So this is the top battery, which is showing the positive end facing out. And then we're going to get the bottom battery, and we're going to face that the opposite direction, facing this way. And it shows you on the actual battery pieces. I don't know if you can see that down there. It actually says plus right there, which is good because some people will mess that up. But that's the configuration you want them in. That's what it's telling you to do, and you'll be good to go. Insert the rear portion of the left housing into the right housing at a 30-degree angle. Okay, so this is important, and I felt that as I was lifting it off as well, because you can see that there's a little nub right there. Okay, that nub is what they're telling you to put at a 30-degree angle. So when you go to lift this up, you know, I can't really get it that great, but you see how I'm lifting this up as opposed to flat? I want to lift it up and then kind of guide it in there. Let's see if I can do this while I'm staring at the camera. Guide it in there, and then let's see if I can seat it down. Okay, that looks like it's grabbing. And I feel the batteries. I believe that's the batteries compressing. Should be. And that's good because you got spring tension in there and you got that load. It doesn't feel natural in the beginning. You see how much space I have right there? It almost feels like you're gonna break something, but that's the spring tension, and it's because of that recoil. You know, you want to have that good load on that. So I'm pinching the front of this now, which is going to secure that on there. So I can already tell while I'm pinching this, now I'm going to need to tighten my screws up. It says install the mounting screws, but I never had them leave because I don't want to lose these little guys. And now while I'm pinching the front, and of course you guys can set this down if you want to, you know, rest there, but I can hold it up and just engage my will to fight in my thumb and suck it up. So now I'm going to tighten these down, you know, and I should feel that start to bottom out. Always being careful of not over tightening these. You know, be very careful of not over tightening. So I'm going to pull that all the way in. Okay, right about, I don't know. These screws are so small. I kind of wish they were just a little bit beefier. It's my only thing so far. That one feels like it got tight. This one already started to feel like it was stripping. Let me check one more time. I just don't know. I'm afraid to go further than that. And it feels like that one's starting to strip. I can't really tell. Only time's going to really tell now. As soon as I feel it starting to strip, it's like, boom, stop what you're doing, let it go, and just get it as hand tight as you possibly can. Again, that's my only feedback so far. I've got a little bit of back and forth there. Again, I think that they could have beefed these up just a little bit. And I'm not sure if that wiggles because I didn't go in all the way with this one. I'm going to attempt it here. Sig, if I break this, I hope you send me a new one. Actually, I guess it would be my fault. So, all right, I got one more turn there. I handled a little bit of the wiggle. I might go back and check that one more time. But here we got a little bit of light, which is great. I mean, that's a nice light on this gun, guys. For as thin as that thing is, I mean, look at that package. You cannot beat this. And again, I'm going to go and I'm going to get some reps in, but I love the middle finger release here. I have a lot of control on what I'm doing because, again, this is the hand that's going to come in and crunch down, and you can see how I can squeeze. Let's see. I mean, this is my first time doing this. I'm squeezing down on this hand pretty good. That's going to be my main control. So right here, let's see if I can line that up for you guys. Right? I'm right here. I'm lining that up. I'm squeezing down pretty good. And then on my terms, I squeeze that middle finger. Right? Now, you just have to be careful of that because that intentionally pulling that can throw your rounds off, right? You got to get used to running that light, okay? I don't know, and that's another thing right there. Again, they kept it very, very simple. I already hope they come out with a version 2 of this because I would like to get to the point where I can go 1, 2, keep it on, do my searches, boom, hit it back off. There's really no reason they couldn't have put some type of programming in here where I just did a 1, 2 on and it stayed on because now I can search and not be overthinking where my light is. I can keep my finger on the trigger and really get accurate shots if that comes into play. But I'm digging this, man. This is so cool. We're going to come up with a holster for this, for IWS for sure. And I need to run the holster with the light. So that's next, guys. We're already working on that right now. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So let me put this down. Let me read the rest of the instructions and make sure I didn't miss anything here. Squeeze both sides together tightly. Tighten each screw until secure. Do not over tighten, right? We know that. And that's it. I mean, that was pretty much it. Pretty simple instructions. I mean, these worked well. Instructions were right. They went on the way it said. Again, feedback, screws, mounting, and then the switch. That would be my upgrade to the next version of this. I don't think you're going to be able to change the profile much. The only thing you can do is figure out battery to LED and output of lumens. That would be the other area that I would focus on in order to improve. And then as I clean up my workspace a little bit here, you guys can see, you know, they've got great packaging too, man. I mean, Sig's just done a great job improving along the way. They really, really have. And they care. And I mean, I ran a 226 my whole career, 239, and it was just nice to see them continue to step into the market. At first, I was a little skeptical when they started coming out with some of the ARs. I was like, I don't really know, but they've really started to nail it with these EDC guns. So they've proven that they're definitely a threat in the EDC world, guys. I cannot recommend this gun enough. You know, a lot of people asked me initially, hey, have you had any issues with this? You know, like any of the new guns, you know, there's always going to be the chance that there's some things that have to not work themselves out, but they have to identify, you know, things that are going wrong that they couldn't have predicted. you know, then they upgrade them. And the Sig is great about doing that. They immediately do it. They made recalls. They specifically go out and change them. So I'm confident that where the XL is today, that it's working really, really well. I know one of my buddies had a hard time with his mag release. You know, my mag release is working really, really well. The trigger's working really well on this one. Everything is working exactly the way it should be, and I love this light. So that's it, guys. That is the Foxtrot 365 weapon light on the XL. I'm sure it would be identical to mounting it on the other 365, so I'm not going to waste everybody's time. But that is it. That's all I had. I wanted to show you guys that. Watch it on YouTube. You know, I haven't done any product reviews before. That's my initial take on the product review. Maybe I'll do something a little bit more in depth as time goes on. And that is it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure you do all those things that people tell you to do, like, subscribe, share, especially if you got a 365 and you're looking for a weapon mounted light. So far, so good. Use it, share it, stay vigilant, keep training, and always make sure you have the right equipment.